Gemini live chat on my Android phone. And you can do it on Android and or an iPhone. Really simple. In fact, Gemini will immediately, they actually say that, hey, they want to be your personal assistant. Okay, so let's give them an acid test. I took my phone out when I was doing a butterfly photo session, and this is really difficult because initially Gemini said that, hey, it won't work with your camera on. That really wasn't true. My camera worked well with Gemini. It's just that it had a real hard time identifying butterflies because with your phone, you have real limitations. It doesn't have telephoto function. You have to get really close to the animal. However, I was able to get close, and I kind of primed Gemini, and I said, hey, this is a Horikama butterfly, and I said, please provide me with some more background information, which it did in real time. You can choose a variety of voices to talk to you, and this is on a mountain, I got to tell you, a mountainside when I'm doing this. So that real time thing really works. However, here's the catch. I wasn't aware. In fact, I went at this without looking at anything. I just got it up and operational. Gemini, asking it, hey, I want to do a live chat. It immediately said, hey, Bob, how you doing? And I wasn't aware that you can actually record these sessions, but you have to use screen record on your Android device or a third party. Otherwise, I could show you something and, talking about something without any kind of visuals is really difficult. But I got to tell you that I think this could really be a really good tool. In fact, I'm going to post a link to the Gemini website where they show an example of a fellow taking his phone, scanning a magazine article, and asking Gemini to give him a mnemonic device to remember the different waves of light. And he just ran it over the page. Within seconds, the thing had memorized the entire page. And the print was really small, and yet it was able to dictate back to him just about anything that he asked about. It didn't work so well with the butterflies, but again, that was really a hard subject. I think if I were to actually have a video already loaded and I directed Gemini to look at it, it could have done a much better job. I think the real problem was that it just couldn't. In fact, it told me it couldn't see. And so I moved it closer. And once it did find a butterfly, I think things worked out better. However, I think it's going to be a game changer, especially if you were to do plants, which are static, and you just stood there. I think that Gemini in real time could really provide you with some really interesting information. So I encourage you to give it a shot. I know that it'll be a subscription-based app, I think, after 30 days. So, hey, get out there and play with it before you have to start paying.
That is so cool.
That's so cool, yes, and it requires a bit of patience. So because it's very difficult not to use the Gemini app, but to catch the butterfly. Yeah. But you know what? I can't really blame Gemini for that. It's the exactly.
That's the weakness of using a smartphone. Okay, so
yes, thank you, Bob.
I was going to say, what I really want is the same feature, but built into my glasses.
Yeah.
So all I do is look at something, and it can just tell me right there what it is I'm looking at without having to hold a phone or anything.
That was on the Google I/O conference. They demonstrated something like that in the future.
Yeah. In fact, that email included three other apps that, Gemini Canvas, and there were a couple more. But I really thought that live chat would be kind of interesting because I thought that, hey, I could record this and include it on like a YouTube post. where I ask the questions and basically the machine gives it to me. I have it all recorded. I upload it and everybody's wiser.